What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Rashad. We're living by the code, and in today's video we're going to be talking about HTML and CSS selectors. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. With our first example, I'm going to be showing you obviously the HTML, the CSS, and I'm also going to be using a practical example to hopefully help it stick better in your head. So elements. What are HTML elements? Just in case you don't know. So H1 tags, H2 tags, paragraph tags, body tags, nav tags, divs, spans. These are all HTML elements. So here I already have some code prepared. So we're going to have an H1 tag with the word element in it, right? So let's say that we are having a title, whatever you want to make this, you can put whatever word right here that you would want to put in. It's still in H1. It's still in the H1 header tag. So it's going to be the technical title of the page. Let's say that in our example, we're going to make this blue. So how would we make this blue? And I'm going to show you the example already so you can see it here. This is what we're going to do. We're going to take this word and turn it blue. So we have it here in HTML. Boom. Let's move on to the CSS. So within with the HTML element, the way that you use the selector is you just type in H1. You just type in whatever the element is, whether it's H1, H2, whether you have a paragraph, whether you want to use nav, whatever the element is, you just type it in, right? Boom, followed by the open and close brackets. You hit color blue. So the most important thing when it comes to an HTML selector is just making sure that you get the selector right, which is nothing with the HTML, just selector. You do that, boom, it turns it blue. So if I was you, what I would do is I would whip up some code, pause the screen, take any HTML element, give it a try, come back to the video. All right, next we're going to be talking about classes. So what are classes? So in HTML and CSS, classes allow you to kind of group things together, literally like a classroom. Everybody in Mrs. Johnson's third block math class, we all in here together. Whatever kind of Miss Johnson tell us to do, this is what we all going to do, right? The same thing classes do, right? So let's say I have the H2 class, right? Or you know what, let's even a better one. Let's use the paragraph tag, the paragraph class. We have paragraphs, right? Let's say that we want to make all of the paragraphs on our page turn pink. In this example, that is what we are going to do. So what do? For every paragraph, we're going to give it a class name of paragraph. So we have one here with this Lorem Ipsum text, which is about 15 characters is named paragraph. Then we have our second paragraph here, which is about 30 characters in this one. So we want to turn both of these pink because they're paragraphs and we want to make all our paragraphs pink. So how we do it in HTML, as you can see, you give it a class name of paragraphs. Everybody has a class name of paragraphs. Let's move on to CSS now that we understand that. To select a class name here of paragraph. And if you're wondering why I have class name, because I'm going to get to that I'm going to get to that in a second. So you use the dot as the selector. So dot, whatever the class name is. In our case, it is paragraph because we want to turn all the paragraphs to, I said pink, but it's really orange. So we're going to type it in there, paragraph name dot paragraph, the color orange. And when you save it, as you can see, every paragraph with the class of paragraph is here in orange. So once again, if I was you, go pull up a IED. VS Code is great. Give something, type in a paragraph, 2 paragraphs. Actually, type in 4 paragraphs. give two of the paragraphs a class of, PG1, and the next class PG2. Turn all of the PG1s orange, turn all the PG2s to red, and then, move on. Pause it and come back. So the next class example that I want to give is classes can also be just used once if you would like to. Let's say you think that you may want to use it again, but you don't know. So in this case, I have a H2 HTML element and I named it class, right? You can use H2s over and over. So I named it class, and let's say that this is going to be the title of the second paragraph or whatever you want to do with it. But I want to make sure that it's, what color am I going to turn it to? I believe red, right? So the same process I'm going to follow. I'm going to dot the selected name, the class name, which is in this case, I named it class name, and it's red. So boom, as you can see here, the class name is red. Now, if you are giving something a name and you're only going to use it once, that's where IDs come in. So with IDs, you only use an ID name once. That is it. You cannot reuse it. You cannot add two of them. You cannot have two H2 tags with both of their IDs with the exact same name. That is what classes are used for. So let's say that we have a something we want to name it once. A social security number is great. You only get one social security number. So let's say we work for the government. We was naming people's social security names. You only could use it once. That is it. So think of IDs the same way. IDs is like a social security number, only using once. So in this example, we're going to have a H2 HTML element with the ID. We're going to name it ID name because I wasn't super creative, and the name between the H2 element is going to be ID. So how do we select the ID? So you start off by selecting the ID with the pound sign. You're going to do pound ID. And that's how you select it. Curly brackets, whatever the values that you want to put in the middle. In this case, we turn it in green. And as you can see, bam, this turns to green. So if I was you, I would stop. I would try to replicate it, and I will come back to this video. And if anything doesn't work for you, don't hesitate to leave a comment down below. That's going to be the end of today's video, guys. Hopefully that you understood everything and that you followed along. Like I said, if there was anything that you have questions about, please put the comment down below. If this video helped you out a bit, make sure that you give it 2 thumbs up. If it didn't help you out, make sure you tell me why deep down. Tell me why in the comments again. But that's it for this one. Until the next one, happy coding.